ghostboxradio.com or in our shop at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis. From the best incense to beautiful statues, we have supplies and books for your spiritual explorations. Come in and chat with our knowledgeable staff and get what you need for your next adventure, whether you're fighting ghosts or opening your third eye. Check us out today at magusbooks.com.
Greg Bakken here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 9, then sunshine on Saturday with a high of 31. The Randy Rainbow for President Tour hits the State Theater in Minneapolis next Friday night, the 23rd. Don't miss the acclaimed Randy Rainbow. Get your tickets at randyrainbow.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakken. Thank you very much for joining us on this Casual Friday. Very exciting. We got a lot to get through today for being casual. It's kind of a jam-packed from start to finish evening that we have going on here. We're going to be giving away tickets, part of the AM 950 Listener Appreciation Month. We're giving tickets away tonight to the Randy Road. I keep wanting to say that Randy Rainbow for President Tour. That's going to actually happen. The show is going to actually happen a week from tonight at the State Theater. We're giving away a pair of tickets for that tonight. Stay tuned. We'll let you know when to call in for your chance to win on that. But Adam, who is with us tonight, how are you doing, Adam?
Not too bad, sir. Yourself?
I'm not so bad. I have to admit, I had a shocking moment before the show, and that was listening. I had completely forgotten that I cut that. It's generous to call that a promo of the Randy Rainbow thing. I just did it last night. It sounds like, even though I recorded it where you're sitting right now, it sounds like I recorded it on a Fisher-Price, my first microphone. I really, what is going on with, is it my voice? Is it, I've not had problems before, but last night, I think I spent 45 minutes to make that. That's pretty bad.
Then I won't tell you some of the stories about a few of the weathers I've had to cut in here. So don't feel bad about taking 40 minutes to do that at all. Some of the weathers I've had to do in here, I'm glad I usually show up about an hour before I'm supposed to, because I will mess those up like you wouldn't believe. Oh my gosh.
I called Randy Road last night probably about 45 times, and I'm actually reading a script, so I do not know.
The thing is, though, it's actually fitting for you to call him Randy Rhoads on this show. Randy Rhoads was a guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne who died in a plane crash, and Ozzy and Sharon have both said that he has visited them from the afterlife. So it does make sense for you to say Randy Rhoads.
Well, and I do think that Ozzy, even though he walks amongst us, I think he is actually in the afterlife as we speak.
He and Keith Richards both.
Right, very much so. So it's just it's it was pretty shocking to hear that, to be very honest. So tonight, a couple things I want to do. I want to talk about dreams a little bit, as I don't want to be like, come on the show like I had a bad dream last night, but I had a dream I wanted to kind of talk about because I found it actually very profound for myself, and I'm curious what people think. we're all like-minded folks listening to the show, and we all find dreams very interesting. But then, as I promised on Monday, I spent the entire hour just talking about my few experiences in a very short amount of time about my experiences with a Bigfoot over 2 nights, and that took the entire hour, and I was happy about it. But there's a lot of people who gave their opinion on the question that I asked on Monday, and I want to make sure I get to that because people gave their time and they're very interesting answers. So I think, Adam, we're going to talk about that in the second segment, get into that, get your thoughts on it as well. And really, it's a jam-packed episode tonight. That's all I know. Easing into Friday with a lot of stuff.
Ease into the weekend, get some dreams out there. So, what is with? Was it a lucid dream? Was it just an extremely vivid dream?
So a couple things here. I think it's a very, I don't know if the dream comes from my own soul, and I'm going to explain that in a second, because to start with, a couple things. About 12 years ago or something, maybe even a little bit more, I had a dream walking through Northeast Minneapolis. That's kind of an area I grew up in. And I remember vividly some of the shops that are over by the Ritz Theater, by the P&A, but then there was this other building that was a little like 4 stories tall and very square. And it's like, I don't know what that is. And it just seemed out of place. But I remember walking over there, and I walk, and underneath a tree, I walk underneath a tree branch, and there's a snake there. And the snake just kind of gives me a kind of a hiss, but doesn't attack. And when I move over to the other side of that branch where the snake was, it changed to a different season. It went from summer to winter. And that is actually something that is very that is known, those exact sort of pieces, which being the snake and the means of change. The point of that story, though, was that I visited our friends over at Magus Books about a month ago, and I haven't been out in like the Central Avenue area for a long time. And I park on the side street, not on Central Avenue. I get out of my car, and there's that building. And I've never seen that building, like in that tall one I'm talking about, the one that's like
the 4-story one.
Yeah, like not tall, I guess, but it's like, wow. So I was just really I had to go over there and walk around it. It's like this big building that just doesn't really fit in with the rest of the area because it's all, housing and stuff. And that building is actually housing, but it just really sticks out. And it's like, where did you come from? That is just really bizarre. My dream last night, okay, it's a little bit kind of personal. And if people are looking for like some sort of like, ghostly story or something, or aliens coming to dream, I don't think this is it. But full disclosure, I've never had children, and even more so, I've never held a child. I've never picked up a child in my entire life. I've never picked up a baby, which, you being a father, you're just like, what? I'm sure, right. It's like, that's not.
Even friends who's had babies, I've picked them up.
Absolutely.
And usually I hand them right back, being like, this one's not mine. It doesn't smell
right. I honestly, and I'm not kidding here, everything I touch, I break. I literally, that's why when I go into like a Goodwill or something, or not a Goodwill, my God, like an antique store or something, I always put my hands behind my back, because literally I could just look at something and it'll shatter.
I do.
And I really do feel like that way about children, even though they're very durable, I'm told.
They are. I dropped my cousin Lisa on her head. She was the smartest one out of the lot of us. She's a pharmacist.
You just kind of shook her awake, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that's what I did.
So last night I'm the dream. I'm in a hospital. I'm just standing in the hospital. I'm just there, and there's this like kind of newborn, not quite newborn, probably, but she's still in the hospital. It's a girl, and she's in the hospital, and she's in like crying. She's in distress, and I pick her up, and I hold her close, and her head is like up against my heart, and there's immediate connection, and she falls asleep, and she just stays there. and she just stays there. And the dream, probably like in a couple seconds, but it was meant to be that it evoked a great period of time, that she just stayed with me. And I wasn't sitting, I was actually walking around that area of the hospital holding her. And someone someone took her away, like it was time for her to move on, and she gets very upset, and because she was woken up, or just that whatever, she was very upset. And then I get extremely emotional, and I said to whoever was around me, I said, as far as like having the baby taken away from me, I said, she just changed my life, because I've never held a baby before, but now I get it. I understand now. That's just weird.
That is.
I mean, not weird, like, woo, weird, creepy. It's more just like, what is that saying?
Yeah, what is the symbolism of all of that?
Yeah, I mean, Jennifer asks, how did you feel when you walked around with her? Everything felt good. It felt like I was actually making somebody really happy. Like she was so content, she was so happy, and she was just, you could hear her heavy breathing of like sleep, and just I kind of held her. And I just found that to be so, it was beautiful. But I think the thing that really takes me is the fact I got so emotional when like when I said to them, whoever they were, she changed my life. I get it. That just, and I woke up with the feeling, that it was like, I don't know, like I just wondered what it would have been like, I'm there's reasons why I never had children, there's just reasons. We all have our reasons for whatever happens, and we do the best we can with our decisions. So I have to admit, I don't think I've ever really regretted not having children, though there are times when it's just kind of like, you wonder what it'd be like, especially when you see them with, parents and seeing everyone get along and stuff. So it's just, that's what makes it very, very, very interesting for me, I guess.
Too bad you didn't have that dream on Tuesday, and we could have brought that up to Refined Divine.
Maybe I don't want to know what that means. I don't know. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing.
I do now.
Here's the interesting thing about it. So at the listener event, there was somebody who my sister went to school with. That was their grade school. I've known this person. I haven't seen her in like 25 years, but she was really good friends with my sister. And we got to talking, and her and her husband did not have children either. And that's just how that went for them. And she had made a comment of, there'll be nobody there to take care of us when we get older. And I don't know if that was a seed to the dream or what, because, we all know that dreams will happen with something that you don't think is consequential at the time, but then becomes a big, full on production in the dream when you don't expect it to happen. So I wonder if there's something to do with that. And I just found the whole thing. But I mean, this little girl, and I know exactly what she looks like. She's been with me all day, so to speak. You know what I mean? Just that she's been there.
That feeling.
Yeah, exactly. And I found, gosh, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just like, who are you? That's kind of what I'm at. You're like, who are you? I'd love to know who you are. You're somebody. To me, you are somebody. You're not just, created for a dream. There's something somewhere there, that there was some meaning for you in my dream. So I find it very interesting. And even though it's been with me all day and just kind of left me kind of scratching my head, it's kind of beautiful in a way. It's kind of beautiful that I did something in that dream that I never have done in my waking moments, and that it evoked an emotion in me that I've never felt before. And I think that is pretty incredible, to be honest.
It really is, considering you've never held a child yet. The way you described it, you were holding it correctly.
By its feet, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, by its feet. We're going to split you in half. Oh, no, wait. Wrong story.
What a way for us to ruin a nice moment, right? People are like, oh, this is, and then here we are. Hey, let's be funny.
No, but I would like to know, with the symbolism.
Me too.
Going back to that, and the fact that you dreamt about, with you dreamt about the building. Now you've seen the building.
Yeah.
And then you have this dream about the infant.
Well, and Jennifer's question about how did it make you feel walking around it, I thought she meant walking around with the child, and I thought that's really rude of her to call it an it, but she actually meant the building. So it's been pointed out to me in the comments, and just to kind of back up on that, I don't know about you, Adam. Do you ever go up to something that you just want to know more about and you want to feel the energy? Do you ever go up to it and just touch the building?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
And there's places I've seen online and on TV where it's almost like you almost have an immediate connection with that location.
Totally.
There are places I've seen where it's like it's an old beat up farmhouse, but in my mind's eye, you can see it as a functioning, farmhouse with a tractor going around it, people in the front yard, things like that.
When I would go visit my friend Chris in the UK in Birmingham, he lived a block away from a church that was 1,000 years old.
Ooh.
1,000 years old. I would walk into that place and be like, oh my gosh. And then I'd go up, and there was like some sort of what they call a fete, FETE. It's like a kind of like a carnival, but not a carnival. It's just like a way to raise money for the church and stuff. And I go in, and one of the priests there, he saw me. I was touching the wall, and he's just like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm feeling," and I'm not going to shy away. I'm feeling the energy. He's like, "Can you do that?" I said, "So can you." And he didn't do it. I think he's just like, you trying to put me on. But it was really, I mean, you could just you can feel it run through you, right? I mean, is that the experience that you're getting when you do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You almost feel like it's becoming, I don't want to say becoming a part of you, but you can pull some of its essence.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who've never tried anything like that, do it. And if you do it one time in one place and it didn't work, you need to keep doing it. You don't need to make a production number out of it. You just go up, put your hand up there, and just hold it up there for a little bit, and just kind of experience it and just let it happen. I mean, honestly, you could even do this. If you're watching me right now, you're just putting your hand up. You can feel energy just by doing this. You do not need to even have it on a wall. But for those of you who want to have a more of a tactile experience, then you put it up against the wall. But also you can go up to friends. I've done this a number of times with people who are very have a lot of energy. That, like, this is their hand, this is your hand. Just have it close, and you can kind of feel the energy kind of bouncing off each other. Kind of it's not repelling, but it is, because it's just energy. Your two energies are colliding. Something always interesting to do. So with that, we're running a little bit late here. Why don't we do this? Let's take our break. When we come back, we're going to go through some of those responses that we asked Monday about Bigfoot. We're going to ask Adam about what he thinks as well. Also, folks, we're going to be giving away those Randy Rainbow for President tickets now. We have one pair to give away. Give us a call right now, 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205. If first caller to call in and want them, they're yours. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Hello, I'm Jody, also known as Witch Jody on social media. I opened Midwest Witchery and Healing in historic Stillwater because, as a nurse, I love to help others. When you come and visit Midwest Witchery and Healing, you will find everything from divination and magical services, classes to ritual tools, jewelries, handcrafted candles, witchy gear, and much more. My store is a safe environment for all on their own unique path. Look for the purple door. Find out more at MidwestWitcheryHealing.com.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with MetamorphosisConnections.com. MetamorphosisConnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search MetamorphosisConnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on metamorphosisconnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting metamorphosisconnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
Twin Cities Pagan Pride is thrilled to host Paganicon 2024, March 15th through the 17th at the Crown Plaza, Minneapolis West Hotel. Come to Paganicon to experience deep community where people gather to learn, socialize, and get inspired. Register now to take advantage of the weekend discount in effect until February 18th. This year at Paganicon, you'll be able to see such notable guests as New Orleans writer and spirit woman Moia Umami, Beverly Smith, also known as Dr. Beverly, Cree storyteller and medicine woman Daffy Puyak, and Chief Arvo Looking Horse. Friday night, join us for a concert with music storyteller Michael Charette, also known as Laughing Fox. Special music guest Wendy Rule, plus an Equinox Ball Saturday night with music from Spiral Rhythm. Paganicon is March 15th through the 17th at the Crown Plaza Minneapolis West Hotel. Register now to take advantage of the weekend discount in effect until February 18th. Go to tcpaganpride.org and click on Paganicon to register and get more details.
And we were just talking about Mega's books in the last segment, and I do want to pass along, and this is actually sounding really cool. Tomorrow, which would be Saturday, they're going to have a local author event over at Mega's Books. It's going to be in their classroom. I think it's like last I heard, it was like a mocktail hour, and they're going to have local authors there. They're going to be 6 local authors there at Mega's Books tomorrow. The event is between 1 and 3 p.m. And it is, I mean, if I were able to make it, I would love to go out there. It sounds really cool. This is the sort of thing that I love, that that we want to be able to promote all these wonderful local situations. On Sunday, they're going to have Reiki 1 noon start, traditional Usui, which is USUI, in case I completely destroyed that pronunciation. That's going to be on Sunday. Go to Mega's Books and see what they have going on there. They're really packing up with a lot of great events and stuff. And it's honestly, if you haven't been in there, please do so. It's a lot of fun. Adam, if you made your way out there yet, not to put you on the spot, I'm sorry, I don't mean to do that, but
to be honest with you, the last time I went to Magus Books, it was myself, my wife, and our friend Cheryl. Mm-hmm. And she could swear up and down that her house was experiencing paranormal activity. Yeah. So we went out there, and I remember we picked up some sage, a smudging stick, and a small book of protection spells. So that's the last time we were out there. We got into my friend Cheryl's house, and her 2 nieces were living there at the time, and they were the ones having the main issue in the basement. Go into the basement. They're like, yeah, we hear all kinds of weird stuff out of this closet at the end of the basement. I'm like, okay. So I took a recorder in there, a flashlight, and I went in there to kind of just feel the place out. Debunked all their hauntings right there underneath. Wow. In the basement. There was a small crack in between the wall of the basement and the front step of the house, and you could hear everything crystal clear coming in from the roadway and the houses across the street. But with the door shut, it sounded muffled, like it was in the walls.
Wow, that's incredible.
But we ended up using the spell book, the sage, and everything else just to make sure everybody else was good. I actually still have that little spell book at home.
Wow, very interesting. Yeah, it's fantastic going out there. It's a great space. Now, Adam, a woman by the name of Danielle, who you may or may not know, put a comment into the comment section, said, dreaming about a baby girl often symbolizes innocence, purity, and potential. These dreams can represent new beginnings, a nurturing aspect of one's personality, or the potential for growth and development.
You can definitely use some room for growth and development.
There we go. So we all can, right? This isn't just my dream; it's everyone's dream. So,
but that honestly, that makes sense.
It does. I mean, Bruce says that could even relate to you and your baby. This show certainly close to your heart and has real positive emotions for you. Look at that. This is our audience. They're smart ones.
It's actually why we like our audience.
Right, exactly. Now, Jennifer, though, I'm not quite sure what to make of this. Jennifer says, I need to listen to people talk to fall asleep. I could listen to this show every night. Hands down, my new favorite. I'm taking that as good.
That's very much a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. Jill says, I sometimes wonder if in a dream, not all, but if you're seeing just another version of yourself, like in another dimension or in a multiverse. I often think we have many alternatives of yourselves with separate choices, but somehow we are still connected spiritually, so we can see it in dream state. I completely agree. I think that Adam, I don't know what you think, but I think that very much a lot of possibilities for multiple universes. They always say the decisions you make spawn all sorts of other universes. You know, what we're doing right here, we might be spun off from original decision for all we know.
Yeah, I very much believe in the multiverse. And I think the closest depiction to it is, did you ever watch the TV show Fringe?
Yes, yeah.
That I think that is more legit than science fiction, to be 100% honest with you.
Yeah, I believe so as well. Jennifer does follow up. She says, not that you're boring, just soothing. Aw. Adam, you're soothing. You're soothing. I know. The soothing voice of Adam. That's what we have going on here.
My dulcet tones.
The dulcet tones of Adam. I'm trying to think how I can follow up with that. I can't. So we're just going to move on here. So the question that we asked, aren't you glad you didn't have to sing on Wednesday night when we?
Oh, I'm very glad. Yeah. We would have lost every member of our listening
You're too
audience.
hard on yourself. You don't know until you try.
Oh, I've tried. And there ain't enough beer or karaoke to get me
to. Speaking of which, we will get to these questions, I guarantee. But over where the listener segment is, or the listener appreciation event was right by where there used to be a big place that was a lot of karaoke. It was called the Hopkins House.
Okay.
And I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's been torn down for years, but I remember back in the 90s working at an ad agency, and we had some people come into town, like from LA or something, and we took them out for some, like a good night. And we took them to the Hopkins House, and I just always remember, and I guess I didn't thought of this as being like a rough place, but some woman just comes up. She's from our group, and she's from LA, and she just gets up to the front. She's doing her little, Bonnie Raitt, let's give them something to talk about, and she's doing her little moving of her dancing and stuff. Unbeknownst to her, from behind the room, a bottle of Budweiser comes flying out, and just like she has no idea this is even happening, swings right past her and smashes against the back wall. And she's so wrapped up in the Bonnie Raitt that she's just still like just kind of doing her moves and stuff. And we're all just like, oh boy. So, I think that was our last song for the evening. It wasn't a bad rendition. I don't know. Maybe they just don't like Bonnie Raitt. I don't know.
It's like every guitar shop where there's like that sign that you point to, no Stairway to Heaven. There's a sign at the bar, no Bonnie Raitt.
No Bonnie Raitt. All right, question of the night here. If you believe in a creature like Bigfoot, do you think it's a race of animals or an interdimensional being? And the second part of this question is, have you seen a Bigfoot in person? Please share your thoughts. So here's the deal, folks. I did this on Monday because I wanted to read through this. It was a Just Me episode. I took up the entire time talking about my experiences. And if you want to hear that, go to am950radio.com and re-listen to it, or you can go to ghostboxradio.com and have a listen. I really think it's a very interesting story, but I said I wanted to read through these responses because we didn't get a chance to them, and people are, answering this, even on like our Facebook page. It's deeply personal, and it's something that you just really want to, it's not easy to say, let alone I believe that these creatures exist, or in my case, I believe they're interdimensional beings, or the fact that you've seen it all. We live in a world, we live amongst ourselves here, thinking that we all think the same way because we are a safe community with this show. But outside of it, it's not always that way. So thank you to everybody who put your opinion down there as well. Carrie says, I'm glad I didn't miss the Bigfoot part of the show. Talking about what we're coming up here now, I'm assuming. Let's get to it then. Bobby says, in my question about whether or not we believe that Bigfoot is a race of animals or an interdimensional being, he says, I believe that if Sasquatch does exist, it's a race of highly intelligent primates, probably somewhere between gorillas and humans. They would have evolved with intelligence adequate enough to evade man, taking refuge in our protected national forests, and most likely living in cave and cavern systems. So we have that. I think we're going to run into this probably a little bit more. Oh, and you got your I forgot that you answered this. I think we'll talk with you about it, Adam, when we get back into the third segment, if that works for you.
Oh, right on.
But we definitely want to get your opinion, and I want to make sure you have time to talk about it. James says, most likely a North American species of great ape, hominid. I have not seen one myself. Shar, as you may have seen on such programs as this one, she says totally interdimensional, and yes, I've seen him, which, if you listen to Monday's show, you will know that she was very much a part of all that, and she has actually done a lot since then to try to bring them forward. Like I said on Monday, that's her story, so if she wants to share it, we'll have her on and she can share it, but I won't just tell you it. It's her story to tell. Emily says that there's an interesting theory that says Sasquatch are actually Neanderthals. That's a great YouTube dive. I bet it is. And then she hasn't seen one. So I have Jim, who I've kind of had a little bit of a kind of a back and forth with, to be perfectly honest, because his take is very different than mine, I should say. I don't know if he did end up listening to Monday, but he said, as we talked, I'm not a believer, but I'm willing to have an open mind. If this is an animal here in America, I would assume it would be more nomadic than stationary animal. Many animals here have huge territories, and why wouldn't Bigfoot migrate like anything else? And maybe that is why we do not find them. We're looking for them on our time and not theirs. They could already moved on to a new location in a different state by then. Basically, we're looking at the wrong place during the wrong time. That's a question he's asking. I think that's an interesting one. I don't know. I have my theory. I have my thoughts, and I won't even say it's a theory. I fully believe it, but it's not for me to say that means everyone else is wrong. Here over on the comments section, Brad Webb, that you might have seen on other programs such as this one as well. Physically seen, no, but we've had experiences them with you and Shar. I remember I was there, and it was it's something that I will never forget ever. And seeing that, Adam, that's kind of in your neck of the woods back in your earlier life. You'll have to go back and prodigal son returns and look for Bigfoot.
And I would like to go back, but I think the next time anybody will be in that area, I probably won't be able to come along.
Well, you never know. You never know, right?
I want to try because, I want to see if that restraining order actually works, and Ernie's got to stay like 500 feet away from me.
You don't need to darken this program by mentioning Ernie Pack. Well, I mean, and here's the thing, I'm just still laughing myself that, I'm asking Deb if there's a way that she can strike him down with lightning. Does that happen in radio often, where you ask for a listener to be struck down by lightning? I mean, it's what's wrong with me? I don't.
Only on this show.
Only on this show. I mean, He was, yeah, and he actually was in the emergency room today, as it happens. But he was in great pain. But I think that not because of lightning, not because of anything I'm able to do, sadly. But it sounds like he's okay. So,
I'll quit playing with the voodoo doll,
yeah.
Ernie.
Well, that's what Denise posted the picture of him on Facebook in the emergency room. And I don't know, no offense to anyone, I don't know why you do that sort of thing. Like, if I'm in the emergency room and someone's with me, please do not post a picture of me in the emergency room. Okay, please don't. I don't want that out there. But
Duly noted. I'll just make a TikTok.
Right, just do a like a courtroom rendering, please. That will be good enough. So she posted it, and my response to that was, so voodoo does exist. So, or I think I said, so voodoo does work. So you got that. Let's see here. Speaking of our questions, and I'll get one more in. I'm like, what time is it? Okay. So this, we should, at least if we're not doing 2 hours during the week, we should do a 2-hour casual Friday. You know what I mean? It just goes by so quickly.
It really does.
If you believe in a creature like Bigfoot, do you think it's a race of animals or an interdimensional being? And going back down, let's see here. Joe says, I've never seen a Bigfoot or notable trace of one. I do think there is more than enough to show the phenomenon exists. You have to draw a line with the phenomenon we know and the ideas like interdimensional creatures. What do you think that means when he says he has to draw the line? Are you thinking that means that he's not willing to go that far with it?
Yeah, it sounds like stopping on the physical, and it's like it's an earthbound creature. I think that's where they're stopping, where they're drawing.
Yeah, that's kind of what that made me think too. Let's see here. Jody says, and Jody, who's also known as Witch Jody, interdimensional. Megs, who we had on her podcast, Drinking the Kool-Aid. I haven't seen one. I'm open to all theories, but I like the interdimensional one the most as a theory. Kathy also says interdimensional, and I haven't seen one. Let's see what time we got here. Let's fit in. We won't put this one in yet because it's a long one. And then Todd Gatewood, who listened, I know he listened on Monday, and we had him on showing his work on the making of these photos from the Patterson-Gimlin film, much grander. Todd says, I believe from my research with the Patterson film that they absolutely a race of type of humans. I'm basing this on visual observation, fossil records of prior humans, and the teaching of Native American elders and wisdom keepers. That's good. That's really good. And then jumping over to comments real fast before we hit the break. Being that Bigfoot is so elusive, I'm going with interdimensional. That's kind of where I'm at. Now, Adam, I'm assuming no one called in yet for Randy Rainbow?
Nope. So the line will still be open during this commercial break. That's the last chance you have on Ghostbox to grab them.
Absolutely. If you want them, your chances are really good. It just seems like our audience doesn't do the call-ins very often. But if you want a chance to, if you want to win, why don't we just say call in and get the tickets, will you please? Randy Rainbow for president. The show is a week from tonight at the State Theater. Call in 952-946-6205. 952-946-6205. Let's take our break. When we come back, we're going to continue on more of these. We'll get Adam's thoughts on things, and we'll just keep going till we wind up to the weekend. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Hello, I'm Jody, also known as Witch Jody on social media. I open Midwest Witchery and Healing in historic Stillwater because as a nurse, I love to help others. When you come and visit Midwest Witchery and Healing, you will find everything from divination and magical services, classes to ritual tools, jewelries, handcrafted candles, witchy gear, and much more. My store is a safe environment for all on their own unique path. Look for the purple door. Find out more at MidwestWitcheryHealing.com.
If you own a holistic or metaphysical business and are looking to expand, then you need to be listed on MetamorphosisConnections.com. It's a network where you can grow with like-minded practitioners and reach new clients. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory you need to list yourself and your business. Our platform makes it easy for you to create listings of your products and services, and you can also choose to list your classes, events, and so much more. Metamorphosisconnections.com helps you create weekly and monthly promotional ads targeted towards your potential clients and promotes them for you via social media and newsletter. There are clients searching for your specialty right now. Let us help them find you. Start your listing today so you can share your own unique gifts and talents by finding the level of membership that best fits your needs. Let us help you reach your clients that are searching for what you do. Visit metamorphosisconnections.com and sign up today.
Hey AM 950 listeners, this is JP Derbogosian. I host This Queer Book Saved My Life and The Gaily Show, and I want to say on behalf of myself and my executive producer Jim Pounds, we appreciate you a lot. You have given us such a warm welcome. Your calls and emails of support have meant the world to us. There aren't a lot of AM radio stations and their listeners who support queer creators like you do. So thanks for listening, and here's to another excellent year of progressive radio and queer progressive radio.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 9, then sunshine on Saturday with a high of 31. For more than 40 years, the Great Wall Restaurant has been serving up Szechuan and Mandarin favorites. The Great Wall is located just north of 50th in France on the Minneapolis-Edina City line. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us. ATNF AM 950, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
You want something fun to do tomorrow? I have something that I think you'd really enjoy. Tomorrow at the Grand Banquet Hall in Stillwater is Witchy Weekend on the St. Croix. I am supposed to be there tomorrow. I'm being a little honest here, and by saying I'm not feeling great, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it or not, but the amount of work that has gone into this event tomorrow is pretty phenomenal. It's going to be a lot of great vendors there. There's going to be a lot of great speakers there. I was supposed to speak tomorrow, but if I'm not going to go, obviously I'm not going to speak. But there are plenty of amazing people that are going to speak there tomorrow. Really great topics. Once again, Witchy Weekend on the St. Croix is over at the Grand Banquet Hall, and it's going to be a fun time. I was at the last one that was in October. It was so well put together, so enjoyable that I really hope that some of you are able to go out to Stillwater tomorrow, go to the Grand Banquet Hall. It's from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow. Once again, it's called Witchy Weekend on the St. Croix. You can find that on Facebook. If you go there, can you please let them know that you heard about it through our show, just so that they know that we care, and just look forward to that. And if I don't go to the one tomorrow, I'll be at the one whenever the next one is. So it's going to be great, and definitely go check it out. Witchy Weekend on the St. Croix. So there's that. Let's see here. Monday, we're going to be back with we had Lynn Monet, author Lynn Monet, on talking about her book Omnipresent. Her books are so interesting, and she is so interesting. I really wanted to do a series with her in terms of, for every book that she's written, which is 3 of them, I want to do one episode on. So if you do that, we're going to do a show on Monday with her second book, and then Wednesday we're going to have her on again for her third book. So there are 2 more episodes that we're going to do next week with her, and it's going to be fantastic. I mean, that once again, that was one of those episodes, Adam, when I had her on a few weeks ago, that I was sitting where you are right now, and I couldn't get out of the station fast enough that night. Stuff was happening at her house when she was talking to us about it.
Yeah, next Wednesday, when she's on, you're going to be in studio with me, right? So I don't have to sit here by myself, right?
I suppose I can. Yeah, I suppose.
That'd be amazing.
Also, breaking news that just came in for Witchy Weekend on the St. Croix. If you go there tomorrow and you mention Ghostbox Radio, you'll get $3 off the ticket price at the door if you show up. That's between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. So that sounds like a pretty good deal. If you, once again, go check it out. It's going to be like-minded people. There's other paranormal investigators there. There are people, they're mediums, there are people who sell crystals, rocks, all these wonderful things. That is Witchy Weekend on the St. Croix. And if you mention Ghostbox Radio at the door, you get $3 off the entrance. Like I said, breaking news, Adam. Breaking news.
We only have the latest and greatest here on Ghostbox, even though we're talking about a subject from 4 days ago.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So definitely go out there tomorrow. That's February 17th that event is taking place. Now, the question was, if you believe in a creature like Bigfoot, do you think it's a race of animals or interdimensional beings? Second part is, have you seen one in person? Adam, we haven't talked to you. What's your thinking on this?
I have not seen one in person. But up until honestly, I had met you and Shar, I never even thought interdimensional. So that's why I left my answer to not say interdimensional or biological. Sure. But my answer is basically, I think that the species has been here since on the planet for centuries, and that I think it was around during the Great Migration as the crust of the earth was splitting. And that is why they're seen in more places than just North America, which is why you have the Yowie in Australia, the wild man in Vietnam, the Yeti in Siberia, in Malaysia. That's why you have so many different ones. I think it's highly evolved. And if it is in the animal category, I would think it would be the highest evolved animal that isn't a human being, and probably next to the intelligence of what would be like the whales and dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And that's simply because the whoops, the clicks, the whistles, that's apparently how they communicate. The most intelligent creatures of the sea, which is the whale and the dolphin, which they put together, thoughts like humans do, according to science. And I'll take that answer. They grunts, whistles, clicks, same way of communication. But I've always thought there's been more to whales and dolphins, particularly the blue whale, than them just being normal earthbound mammals. But that's a topic for an entirely other program.
Well, and that's just it too. I mean, it wouldn't be beyond human nature to neglect possibly the most important animals on the earth because we think that because they're not human, they're beneath us.
Right.
Here, and I've often wondered this as well. Why can't we have it both ways? Why can't there be interdimensional versions of the forest people, as well as ones that do exist, that maybe they work together? Maybe there is room for both types to exist on Earth.
And, there might be a story or documentation out of the UK. There was the Green Children. And I can't remember exactly where in the UK this happened, but centuries ago, apparently 2 green children came out of essentially Middle Earth is what they had claimed. But as people listen to their stories, it almost seemed like they crossed over from another dimension and were a completely different color because of the way the sun shone there.
Yeah.
And that could be the same thing with Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti. And I'm not willing to say yay or nay. I'm willing to take a look at everything and be like, yeah, it's going to be one or the other. Sasquatch exists.
And that's why, just like you, when I have a theory, I have my own belief system, but when someone says that's not the case, the only thing that I kind of ruffles my feathers a little bit when someone's like, it's impossible that they exist at all. That's where I'm like, I don't agree with that. And I try to be nice, and that sometimes I'm not. But Jennifer asked the question, are there enough of them to reproduce, to be around for centuries? People only ever see one. And I will let you know that that is not the case, actually, that there has been people who've seen a couple at a time. I've actually felt, there was that part of my story on Monday when Denise and I were out in a other part, and that it seemed like the trees are full of them, to be honest. But that Patterson-Gimlin film, that we don't know everything that took place there, though people like MK Davis seems to have a much better handle on what happened that day that they went out shooting. And MK Davis is not somebody who shot the video, but he has learned this through time. I think it's from Gimlin, that there was a number of them that day that they saw, including children. So, and the other question, Adam, to that is, when we're talking children, are we talking about like, do children of a race like that, because we don't know a lifespan, are we talking children in the sense of like a Baby Yoda sort of thing? When we see Baby Yoda in The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda is 50 Earth years old. I mean, like a child, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever we're calling them, a child, that looks that small might be, 100 years old or something. I don't know what a timeline is for them.
Yeah, do they age like us? Not, that's a wonderful question because I never really looked at it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could usually be like, the Grogu of the Sasquatch.
Well, and you think about it this way too. I mean, and this isn't meant to be religious or anything, but if you look at like the Old Testament, you look at someone like Moses, and
Yeah, he
Moses
was like
lived
800 years or something.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, if we're looking at these creatures from being from, way before, humans, that stands the reason that why wouldn't that be a consideration? And that's why that they have gone in hiding, because so much history is lost, right? We have a lot of history, but we don't know a lot of history. That maybe there was some great skirmish at some point that has put these creatures into hiding, for all we know.
They could have been the dominant creature on this planet at one point, for all we're aware of,
For all we know. I mean, every history is written by the winners, I guess, and winning in this sense means that we're the survivors.
Yeah.
And history basically, is 3,000 years old to us.
Yeah, well, and even older than that, and that's the one thing I think AI is good for.
Well,
is decoding some of these ancient texts, and I think that's where we're going to find a lot of our answers about Sasquatch, about alien life forms. Because I'm going to imagine if we're having, congressional hearings on it, if they were seeing something weird in the sky way back, they were going to have some sort of hearing on it too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, very much so, very much so. And Jennifer asked the question, would they live in a cave system underground? Well, I mean, I think it's been certainly it's been shown that if there are caves around, that they may use that as a place. But I personally have not heard of any like cave systems. But Adam, I don't know if you've heard something else. I'm sure if there were such a thing that they would take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, especially if you go up north of Vancouver, British Columbia, where it's like 1 to 2 people per, like 45 square miles after you get out of the Vancouver area. Who knows what's in there and how much of that has actually been explored? There could be an expansive cave system in that section of the Rocky Mountains.
It's incredible. Now, okay, because it's Casual Friday, we kind of follow the whims of everybody who participates, and I love that. Emily, once again, Witchy Weekend on St. Croix, $3 off, and Emily is the person who's organizing it, and she says there's new footage that came out being called the best video evidence captured of UFOs. This is breaking news. Adam, are you familiar with this at all?
I haven't been on Reddit today, and that's where I get all my UFO news of late. But I will say Reddit's way more accurate than a lot of the other places.
That's interesting. This is news to me. I don't know.
I'll have to look that up after the show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like that we know what we'll be talking about next Friday. And Jennifer's like, sorry for all the questions. No, Jennifer, that's what we want. Keep them coming, please. Anybody, keep them coming. And please know we don't have all the answers, because a lot of this is all based on what we've seen, heard, or whatever, but I don't think there's any right or wrong. Please know that, folks. So your opinions are important as well. This is a safe place to have them, so
100%.
So yeah, I mean, I think your thoughts on that are I think they're very spot on. I think that's very very possible. So I feel like that, do you think we're ever going to find out?
I think we will. I think at some point within our lifetimes, there will finally be the evidence found. And I honestly think it's going to come through a bit of technology. I think there's going to be caught on a trail cam. And that half the people are going to say it's real. The other half are going to say it's not real. But I think we're going to get a clear shot at some point that's going to be definitive, whether people want to believe it or not.
Now, once again, breaking news. I mean, this tonight's episode is nothing but breaking news over here. Kyle, who, if you listen to my Monday show, I talked about the Wabasha, the Wabasha experience we had. Kyle was there with us. We did it over 2 nights, and he asked the question, did you ever play the sound from Wabasha for your audience? Maybe they've heard it before. Why don't we do that next Friday? Why don't we play that next Friday? And the thing with that is that you might listen to it. You might be like, oh, that's like a whooping duck or some like unknown thing I've never heard of in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But it certainly is something that definitely I think it would be fun. Thank you, Kyle. It's a great idea. And boy, we're running through time here very quickly. So we're going to wrap it up here right now. And as we wrap up, don't forget Monday, we're going to have Lynn Monet on. We're going to be talking about her other 2 omnipresent books, as well as Char Savoy and Maria Shaw. Please make sure to visit Ghostbox Radio to find past episodes of our radio show, and like us over on Facebook at Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken. Also send any comments or feedback to comment@ghostboxradio.com. Don't forget to check out the best of Ghostbox Radio, airing Saturdays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. here on AM 950. And finally, whether you're chasing spirits or just drinking them tonight, please be careful out there. And we'll see you Monday as we talk with Lynn Monet about Omnipresent. It's going to be a great show. Everyone have a great weekend and take care.
Hi, it's Matt McNeil. Listen to the Matt McNeil Show from 3 until 5 weekday afternoons